Jessica Jones. This video compresses information gathered from Wikipedia in video format. Studies prove that reading while listening improves comprehension, increases speed as well as expands vocabulary and enhances fluency. Video sections. Abstract. Creation. Fictional character biography. Powers and abilities. Other versions. In other media. External links. Give your feedback on the comments section. Support the channel by subscribing and liking the video. Thanks. Abstract. Jessica Campbell Jones Cage is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The character was created by writer Brian Michael Bendis and artist Michael Gaydos and first appeared in Alias No. 1, November 2001, as part of Marvel's Max, an imprint for more mature content. Within the context of Marvel's shared universe, Jones is a former superhero who becomes the owner, and usually sole employee, of Alias Private Investigations. Bendis originally envisioned a series centered on Jessica Drew and only decided to create Jones once he noticed that the main character had a distinct voice and background that differentiated her from Drew. Jones has since starred in 3 ongoing series: Alias, The Pulse and Jessica Jones. Alias ran for 28 issues before ending in 2004, while The Pulse ran for 14 issues from April 2004 to May 2006. Jessica Jones debuted in October 2016. She became a member of the New Avengers, alongside her husband, Luke Cage, during Marvel's 2010 Heroic Age campaign. She has used various aliases throughout her history, including Jewel, Nitrous and Power Woman. The character was portrayed by actress Kristen Ritter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starring in Marvel's Jessica Jones, 20,152,019, and The Defenders, 2017. She has also been featured in various video games, in which she has been voiced by several actresses including Michelle Phan, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Tara Strong. Creation. Jessica Jones debuted in the Marvel Max imprint series Alias in November 2001. The character and series were created by writer Brian Michael Bendis and artist Michael Gaydos. Alias ran for 28 issues from 2001 to 2004, with most covers drawn by David W. Mack. After the end of the series, Jones and other characters from the series moved to Bendis' subsequent series, The Pulse. In a 2005 interview, Bendis claimed, by the time Bendis was actively developing the title, Jones was his central character, one with a distinct background and voice from Drew's. Jessica Jones appeared as a regular character throughout the 20,102,013 New Avengers series, from issue number 1, August 2010, through its final issue number 34, January 2013. In a Marvel Comics podcast, Bendis expressed his desire to incorporate Jones into the parallel universe Ultimate Marvel imprint. In Ultimate Spider-Man number 106, she appears as a senior at Peter Parker's school. Fictional character biography. Midtown High student Jessica Campbell goes to school with Peter Parker, on whom she has a crush, and is present when he is bitten by the irradiated spider, which gives him his spider powers. Jessica's father receives tickets for Disney World from his boss Tony Stark. On the way home, their car collides with a military convoy carrying radioactive chemicals. Her family is killed, and she spends several months in a coma. Upon waking, she is placed in an orphanage and adopted by the Jones family. Jessica later discovers that her radiation exposure granted her super strength, limited invulnerability, and flight. Jessica's adoptive parents re-enroll her at Midtown High, where she is ostracized by her classmates, especially Flash Thompson. Peter Parker, who has since become Spider-Man, senses in Jessica a kindred spirit, someone who has also lost her family due to a tragic circumstance. Jessica mistakes his kind attention for pity and lashes out at High Monsieur. She later witnesses a fight between Spider-Man and the villain Sandman in her school. This inspires her to use her abilities for positive ends. As Jewel, Jones has a fairly uneventful superhero career until she intervenes in a disturbance at a restaurant involving Zebediah Kilgrave, the Purple Man. Kilgrave uses his power of mind control to place Jones under his command, psychologically torturing her and forcing her to aid his criminal schemes. After Kilgrave sends her to kill Daredevil at the Avengers Mansion, Jones is rescued by Carol Danvers, the only Avenger who actually knows her. Jones undergoes psychic therapy with Jean Grey of the X-Men, who places a special mental command in Jones's subconscious to protect her from further mind control. During this time, Jones develops a brief romantic relationship with S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Clay Quartermaine. Due to the traumatic violation of her mind by Kilgrave and the fact that she was barely noticed, missing for 8 months, a demoralized and depressed Jones gives up her costume superhero life. She briefly adopts a darker identity as the Nitress and interrupts a crime meeting between their owl and a mafioso, through which she meets up with fellow superhero Luke Cage. After defeating the owl, she and Cage develop a lasting friendship. No longer a superhero, Jones opens a private detective agency. Longtime friend Carol Danvers sets Jones up with Scott Lang, the second Ant-Man, and the two date for several months. She also has an off-and-on affair with Cage. Kilgrave, still obsessed with Jones, escapes from high-security incarceration. But with the mental defenses Grey gave her, Jones breaks his control and knocks him out. Later, Cage and Jones admit their feelings for each other, and after she becomes pregnant with their child, they begin a committed relationship. Jones takes a leave from the detective business and joins the staff of the Daily Bugle as a superhero correspondent and consultant, becoming a main character of the comic book The Pulse, and a contributor to the same-name fictional newspaper supplement within. A pregnant Jones is attacked by the Green Goblin after the Bugle reported that he was secretly industrialist Norman Osborn. In response, Cage retaliates and Osborn is irrevocably exposed as the Goblin upon his defeat and incarceration. Jones quits her job with the Bugle after publisher J. Jonah Jameson uses the paper to smear the New Avengers. Jones and Cage are living together when she gives birth to their child, whom they name Danielle after Luke's best friend, Danny Rand. Cage and Jones marry in New Avengers Annual No. 1. Jones appears as a supporting character in Young Avengers until the series ended. She returns in Avengers: The Children's Crusade No. 6, in which she, Beast and Hawkeye attempted to defuse the situation between the Avengers and X-Men who were fighting over who was to punish the Scarlet Witch. She helps fight Doctor Doom and is present when Stature and the Vision are killed. She is seen hugging Hulkling in the final panel when the team is declared full-fledged Avengers by Captain America. In Marvel's 20,062,007 crossover storyline, Civil War, Jones and Cage reject Iron Man and Ms. Marvel's offer to join the Superhuman Registration Act. As part of the New Avengers, Jones moved into Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum. But after an attack involving the demonic villain the Hood, Jones, shaken by the experience and desperate to protect her child, left the New Avengers and registered for the Superhuman Registration Act, ending her relationship with Luke Cage for the time being. Jones is among the heroes who emerge from the crashed Skrull ship wearing her dual costume. Although it is later revealed this Jones was a Skrull, the real Jessica Jones appears in Secret Invasion No. 7. In which she joins in the heroes' fight against the Skrulls and was able to be reunited with her husband. After the Skrull surrender, the Skrull impersonating Jarvis disappears with their daughter, leaving Jessica desperate. Jessica is unaware that Luke has asked Norman Osborn for help in their search for Danielle. Osborn helped Luke recover Danielle, and Luke gave the baby back to Jessica. Spider-Man revealed himself as Peter Parker to the New Avengers, leaving Jones shocked to see that her former classmate is Spider-Man. She then tells Peter of her former crush on him, only to find out that he did not recognize her all this time, let alone remember her name. only remembering her as Coma Girl, upsetting her. She later assists the Avengers in rescuing Clint after being captured by Norman Osborn. Jessica reveals that she was inspired to become a superheroine after witnessing an early battle between Spider-Man and the Sandman. Peter then tries to convince Jessica to return to the life of a superhero, suggesting that she could provide a better example for her daughter by going into action as a hero, rather than simply telling her daughter about her old career. During the storylines of Marvel's 2010 Heroic Age branding campaign, Jessica returned to her costumed identity of Jewel and became a member of the New Avengers when their title relaunched in June 2010. She and Luke began searching for a nanny, interviewing characters featured from other comics set in the Marvel Universe. Ultimately, Squirrel Girl was chosen as Danielle's nanny. In New Avengers number 8, Jessica took the name Power Woman to both honor her husband, Power Man, Luke Cage, and to be a role model for their daughter. However, following several incidents revolving around Thule Society attacking Avengers Mansion, and Norman Osborn's threat, Jessica quit the team and went into hiding, realizing that it was too dangerous for Danielle to remain in Avengers Mansion due to the numerous potential threats. Jessica later appeared as an ally to the Mighty Avengers team formed by Luke Cage. Jessica and Danielle lived in the apartment of the Gem Theater, which was serving as the Mighty Avengers base of operations. She and Luke would later be confronted by the superior Spider-Man and his spider robots, who offered her a place on a different type of Avengers team that was to be run by High Monsieur. Jessica swiftly found a babysitter for her child and refused before delivering a powerful punch to Spider-Man's face for his threat. The group was later backed up by She-Hulk, and she and Jessica decided to go out for coffee. Jessica and Luke would later switch apartments with an old friend of Luke's named David Griffiths. While moving in, Jessica spoke to the Blue Marvel about what it's like to raise a child of superheroes and expressed both her support and annoyance at her husband's choice to start another team of Avengers. During the Secret Empire storyline, Jessica Jones became a member of the Defenders alongside Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. They, alongside Cloak and Dagger, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Woman, fought the army of evil during Hydra's rise to power, where they were defeated by Nitro. Jessica Jones and those with him were trapped in the Dark Force Dome by Blackout when his powers were enhanced by Baron Helmut Zemo using the Darkhold. In October 2016, a new ongoing series featuring the character, titled Jessica Jones, began. In 2017, a new ongoing Defenders series was launched, featuring Jessica as one of the main characters. During the Hunt for Wolverine storyline, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage assist Iron Man and Spider-Man in searching for Wolverine when his body has gone missing from his unmarked grave, where they attend an underworld auction and fight Mr. Sinister. After the mission was over, Jessica and Luke learn from Tony Stark what he found on Mr. Sinister's database, as he informs them that one of the X-Men members is not a mutant and is a genetically altered sleeper agent. Powers and abilities. After coming into contact with experimental chemicals and spending some time in a coma, Jessica emerged with superhuman abilities. She possesses superhuman strength, as well as flight, and can block mind control. She shows the capacity to lift a 2-ton police car with little effort. Her strength allowed her to lift up a giant-sized Goliath by the nostrils and toss him a short distance, break Atlas' nose, and render her fellow superheroine Jessica Drew unconscious with a single punch to the face. She later withstood being punched by a human on mutant growth hormone and sustained only mild bruising and a bloody nose, and was able to recover in moments after being shocked by Jessica Drew's venom blasts. Despite this resistance to harm, Jessica sustained severe injuries, including a damaged spine and neck, a detached retina, and a broken nose after being attacked by both the Vision and Iron Man. Jessica is also able to fly, and while she was able to fly quite well during her early years as a heroine, She has admitted that her flying ability degenerated while she was no longer an active hero. She has since displayed improved flying ability after joining the new Avengers. After her ordeal at the hands of the Purple Man, Jessica was given a degree of psionic protection by Jean Grey of the X-Men. This psionic protection was sufficient to protect Jessica against a second attack by the Purple Man, though she had to trigger this resistance on her own. In addition to her superhuman powers, Jessica is a skilled detective and investigative journalist. Other versions. Multiple versions of Jessica Jones have appeared in Marvel's multiverse. In the 2005 House of M storyline, Jessica was apparently dating Scott Lang. In What If, Jones accepted Captain America's offer to work for the Avengers. Perceiving that something was amiss with Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, she alerted the other Avengers, ensuring that the catastrophic events depicted in Avengers Disassembled and House of M would never occur. Jessica married Captain America. In Ultimate Spider-Man, Jones appeared as a senior student in the school Peter Parker attended. She was the executive producer of the school's television network. She later became jealous of Mary Jane Watson's superior film skills. She attempted to deduce Spider-Man's secret identity for the school newspaper and may have been suspicious about Peter Parker. Later on, after the events of Ultimatum, she claimed to have abandoned her attempts to figure out who Spider-Man was and instead wanted to focus on his heroics. In Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane, Jessica was a student at Mary Jane's high school and was a former friend of Mary Jane until she became a goth. Mary Jane spent more time with Jessica after her breakup with Ned Leeds and became more goth-like, until Jessica told Mary Jane it didn't fit her. During the events of Infinity Wars, Gamora used the Infinity Stones to fold the universe in half, resulting in the creation of Warp World, where characters and histories were merged. Jessica Jones merged with Janice Lincoln and became this universe's version of the Beetle. She was also the fiancée of Scott Banner aka Little Monster, an amalgamation of Scott Lang and Bruce Banner. In Spider-Man Life Story, Jessica briefly dated Peter Parker after his split with Mary Jane and helped him track down the elderly Norman Osborn. Much like her Earth-616 counterpart, Jessica Jones of this universe also began a private investigator and founder of Alias Investigations. During the Secret Wars storyline, different versions of Jessica Jones existed in each of the Battleworld domains. In other media, on November 20, 2015, Jessica Jones was released on Netflix, with the title character portrayed by Kristen Ritter as an adult and by Elizabeth Cappuccino as a teenager. As a child, she was in a car accident that killed her parents and put her in a coma. After she regained consciousness, Jessica was legally adopted by talent agent Dorothy Walker, therefore becoming the adopted sister of Trish Walker. As an adult, Jessica crosses paths with Kilgrave and spends a year under his control, snapping out of it after she kills Luke Cage's wife Reva Conchabaz on Kilgrave's orders. She experiences post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of what Kilgrave did to her, and drinks to excess to numb her pain and guilt. Her dual costume from the comics appears briefly in the 5th episode of Season 1, aka The Sandwich Saved Me, although she refuses to wear it and rejects Trish's suggestion of Jewel as an alias, saying Jewel is a stripper's name, a really slutty stripper, and if I wear that thing you're going to have to call me Camel Toe. In the 8th episode of Iron Fist, Joy Meacham indirectly mentions to her brother Ward that she hired Jessica in the past to take compromising pictures of members on the Rand Enterprises board of directors. Ritter reprised her role in The Defenders, a 2017 crossover miniseries. A second season of Jessica Jones was released on Netflix on March 8, 2018. On International Women's Day, the second season of Jessica Jones follows Jones as she takes on a new case after the events surrounding her encounter with Kilgrave. It is set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. sharing continuity with the films and other television series of the franchise. The season was produced by Marvel Television in association with ABC Studios and Tall Girls Productions, with Melissa Rosenberg serving as showrunner.